I'm not a funny person though, so like I have nothing to say that's funny. My name is Jules, and this is my story. So I was raised in a Christian household, gone through a couple of churches as I was growing up because my parents divorced when I was around 6 years old. In high school, my faith was, I think, still growing in terms of really truly understanding who Jesus was. I really struggled with a lot of identity issues. I cared a lot about what people thought about me. Popularity was the number one thing I prioritized and used my faith to try and bump that up. My freshman year, I was still not living a life that showed that I was Christian. I had opportunities to go to community groups, and I remember telling people like, oh, I can't make it because I had prioritized working out. I kept chasing after the temporary fulfillment that I got. Hooking up with girls and using marijuana and drinking. I wasn't really paying attention to it as if something was wrong. I was really enjoying just what college had to offer from a party standpoint, but it was intoxicating to do it because it was fun. I never experienced this before. I enjoyed it, the things that I was doing, and then I'd come to church on Sunday, but then I'd go right back to doing the same thing. When I laid my head at night, I'm thinking about like, what am I actually doing with my life? So I've never experienced Mardi Gras before I came to college, and the first year I've experienced it, it was crazy, it was wild. And this was about a 3-day bender, and I came back February the 22nd, and February 23rd is when we had a worship prayer night with the chapel. I decided to go up to the booth to help with sound, and went up there and just started worshiping, and I just remember throwing up my hands, and it's as if this weight just started building up off of me. I can't even comprehend what's going on. But all I know is that the presence of the Lord was on me, and it brought me to cry and fall to my knees. I've never really experienced an intimate or emotional relationship with Jesus. It's crazy how the day before I was just indulging in sin, just like crazily. And in that moment, I was heavily struggling with pornography. And as I'm on my knees crying, pleading to the Lord to forgive me, not just for this previous weekend that I got to experience, but that sin that I was struggling with at that moment. The fact that He delivered me from it and then provided me and filled me with His desires, that was grace. Because after all those things, my life has been nothing but fruitful, but also I've felt fulfillment. When I put my head down at nighttime, I can go to bed knowing that, wow, God has truly got me. My advice to freshmen coming into college would be, find a community that is going to love you no matter what, but it's also going to keep you accountable and hold you to a certain standard. If you're wanting to get involved with, the church and Christ, there's now a new life to be lived. My name is Jules, and that was my story.